Oh gosh. Don't spill. Oh. Ah, fiberglass in the hand. Yeah.
Woo! Well, hey there, and welcome back to the not so itty bitty project. Can't tell if that intro is really smooth or makes you want to shoot your toes off one by one. Either way, we are back in the itty bitty and we are going to be tackling the frame yet again. One of the really cool things about the audience that the itty bitty has brought this channel is a lot of you people at home have 50, 60 years of experience doing what I'm trying to do, which is why we spent the entire morning doing exactly what you guys advised us to do.
All right, section 4 has been successfully submerged in the sealant. We're gonna let it soak for a couple hours while we do some work on the inside of the boat. The next step to the frame is gonna be going back and coating every single screw hole with as much water sealant as we can fit in there. What's kind of crazy is there's a piece of poplar sitting right here on this window frame. I let this wood sit here untreated, exposed to the elements before we put a tarp on, and within 3 weeks it is already showing signs of discoloration, mildew, and potentially mold. If that doesn't show you the importance of sealing this frame properly, I don't know what does. Ah, sick.
So the goal is pretty simple. This time as we make the pocket holes, we're gonna dip the hole and the end of each piece of the wood into the sealant and then keep this frame chuck-a-lugging.
And there we go. Full submersion, pocket holes in pieces. You are sealed. I'm gonna take a short break to share with you today's video sponsor.
If you didn't know already, Athletic Greens is a company that is coming up with a radically simple way for you to have a healthy system. In this one 8-ounce beverage, you'll be feeding your body what it needs. One serving includes 75 vitamins, minerals, whole food sourced superfoods, probiotics, and adaptogens. I typically start my day out with a cup of coffee, and within 10 minutes, to keep things short, it does not support my gut health at all. The cool thing about AG1 is it gives you steady energy throughout the day. There's no shakes, there's no uncontrollable anxiety attacks. Not saying coffee causes those, but I may have had one or two. It boosts your gut health and your digestive system while still paying attention to building a very strong immune system. As I just showed you, it's super easy. 1 scoop, 8 ounces of water, handshake. Every day you're gonna be giving your body exactly what it needs. Go to the link in the top of the description and you will get a free 1-year supply of vitamin D and 5 AG1 travel packs that are gonna get you kicked off right with your first purchase. Stay healthy, let's get the boat building. I gotta work on the noises I make as I exert forces. It's just not very attractive. There's a storm pushing in. I checked the weather app before we got started today. It said the storm was not supposed to get here for another 4 hours. Just rechecked. Now we have 30 minutes.
If you haven't noticed, the tarp is not really doing its job. So I've come up with a plan. Not really sure if it's gonna work the way it works in my head. At least I think this could be the answer to my problems. I have seen some homemade alternatives to
possible shops that you could build in just a single day. The only problem that I have with some of these other homemade shops where I live, there's so much wind that I think if I build a homemade shop, it's gonna get ripped over, could cause more damage to the boat. If this idea does not go to plan, we will be trying to build a homemade shop here in the next week or two. But I have faith. Fingers crossed. Oh. So one of the biggest problems we have is the tarp continues to catch the antenna on top of the boat. Ah, thought my thumb was gone. Hide your wives, because good gracious, I just busted it down. Come on, girl. I think that this will fit over our antenna, giving us a nice round edge. Also, I know this probably isn't the best time, but kind of need to talk to you guys. I hired a camera guy who currently lives in Chicago. Oh, he's moving down in March. When you're seeing this, that should be pretty soon. We're gonna be upping the upload schedule. I know a lot of you wanted to hear that, but just wanted to take the time to make sure we had the right guy. Get on there, come on. My channel means a lot to me. Didn't want to rush it. Bring somebody on that didn't mesh well with or didn't want to work. I'll make sure to introduce him soon if he enjoys it. But all you need to know, this spring and especially this summer, the upload schedule is gonna be at an all-time high, which I hope you guys don't get tired of me. Oh. One antenna down. The other antenna actually broke off when I was driving by my house with the boat for the first time ever. Thought my wife was gonna leave me for sure after I spent our life savings on a boat. Slept on the side of the road and then crashed it into our house. I don't really know if I need this antenna, but I'm pretty much replacing everything on the boat. Ah. 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 I'm fine. Sweet. The only possible problem is that little front light that I do not want to remove. Kind of like the retro look. I wish there was a way to salvage this dashboard, but there's not even parts for new boats right now. That's how crazy everything is. Try buying a truck right now. Oh. So the last problem that we have had in trying to keep this boat properly covered is this anchor right here. Has a little notch on top that just slices through the tarp like peanut butter. I think it's time for me to tell you my plan. So the tarp behind me is extremely long and extremely wide. I don't think we need a tarp that reaches the ground on every side of the boat. The hull is perfectly intact. I just need something to cover up the front, the back, and the windows. Gee dang it. Well, so the plan is pretty simple. I have stakes, about 300 foot of rope. My goal is to build like a homemade pulley system for the tarp. That way I'm not spending 45 minutes nearly dying every morning and evening that I work on the boat. That would kind of be my hope. Also, definitely need something more than that tent stake. Yeah, she's coming up easy. About a 2-mile-an-hour wind gust and she's down. It'll do good for now though. Oh my gosh. Not even close. Don't tip. Not yet. Ah. The rain is approximately 15 minutes out. It's a little slippy knot. Get in there. It's really holding quite decent. Secondary rope. I know that my working station is a pigsty. If you missed it, I flipped my truck. I don't really want to pile a bunch of black mold and crap into somebody else's truck. I know that's what trucks are kind of for. I just also feel like kind of a D-bag for
borrowing everybody else's crap. I actually have some big news on the truck front coming very soon. And then we'll be able to deal with this situation. Shout out to that one trip to Boy Scouts my dad took me to. 2 zip lines, if you will. We actually had a pretty bad windstorm the other night. During that windstorm, this tarp suffered a pretty bad injury. Ripped it a new one. This is so not gonna work. So the hope is I can use these snap hooks, kind of connect them to every corner of the tarp that we're gonna attach to the rope. One tip I got from you subscribers is it's always better to unfold the tarp on top of the vessel. Yeah, I'm in a happy place, a safe, happy place. Davy Gravy's holding me so tight. This tarp is 16 foot wide. The boat's 8 foot wide, about 80 foot tall. Oh, she is shaking. Okay, that feels better. Yeah, PVC pipe is inside of me. Love boat projects. I love them. It's long enough to cover front and back, except for the trunk, but I always have trouble covering my rear. So I bought 4 universal snap hooks, and the plan is to have 4 connections to the homemade zip line. Then we're gonna connect rope to each snap hook. So we're gonna be able to pull the rope both ways. The rain is beginning to fall. Well, unfortunately, it's beginning to rain pretty hard. Good news is it's gonna be in the 50s all day. So hypothermia is not really a big deal. We just wanna get some of the frame that we have waiting in the boat and already installed in the boat covered before it gets any worse out here. That was pretty dang good timing. Cannot complain. Oh my gosh. It's one way to see if the zip line works. Well, with a little bit of fine tuning, this thing could be the next wheel. And the tarp is still attached to the zip line. Progress. The only problem that we have is there's a rail on top of the boat and it's pooling up water, especially when it rains for 10 plus hours like it did yesterday and throughout the night. When I pulled it over, I heard some water running. Unfortunately, the water didn't go on top of these 2 tarps, it went beneath. And if you know what's beneath the tarps, it's the interior of the boat. I'm starting to slowly realize why so many people don't tackle houseboat projects without the proper restoration shop or space to do so. However, I do feel like this method is gonna work out. We just gotta find a way to stop that water from pooling up on top. After we do that, the boat looks pretty dang dry on the interior. Next step, section 3 needs to go. Nothing like a little fiberglass in the shorts. Get the day going. That definitely just took all roof abilities off the table for a little bit.
starting to find that it's not only important for the frame to be flush against the wall, but you want it to actually be a part of the wall. We're gonna go back over this frame after we have it all set how we want it. We're gonna epoxy over some of this wood, and then we're gonna fiberglass a lot of the joints and a lot of the long beams flush against the hole. Oh, what a noise. Okay. I realize I've had better ideas before, but this needs to be done, and I'm not getting any younger. Yeah, girl. Can't see anything in these goggles. What the heck? There's a couple hundred ladybugs just deep spooning each other right in the top bunk. I guess I'd rather it be ladybugs and cockroaches. I'm hoping that where we tore this wall and it began to sag on both sides, you can really see it in the bottom. It's kind of pointing towards the middle of the boat, that when we replace the biggest beam of the frame, it'll kind of prevent this boat from sagging anymore. I think today is definitely the biggest step forwards that we've taken yet. About to cut all the fiberglass, remove this wood, replace all of that, hopefully save the boat, all while wearing shorts. We are a handful of cuts away from being done removing frame. A lot of the frame on the last section is actually in really good standing. Might not have to replace too much on this wall. Might just need a little bit more bracing. Okay, section 4, you don't scare me. All right, yep. My blade has gotten a little too dull. Fiberglass is just smoking. Don't imagine that's good for you. Much better. Seems to be doing better. I think I'm catching screws in there as well. Just like the inside of a teddy bear, just stuffing. That wood has gone to nothing. This is by far the thickest fiberglass that we've cut. Wow. It's not just a sheet. That is crazy. Just nothing, dude. Huge shout out to whoever made these goggles. Really appreciate how you can sweat in them and they don't fog up at all. It almost looks like they took a piece of plywood and just cut out that shape and ran it in there. Matter of fact, I'm almost positive it looks like laminated plywood. Sorry, I'm married. This does not do it justice, but I can just see silhouettes. Ooh, I didn't win most improved player senior year for nothing on a team of 10. We're making significant progress. That entire half is done. Most of this half is done. Only problem is the right hand side of this little beam, whatever's left, it did not get as much damage or termite on that side as this side, so it's in there a little bit better. There's also some screws, some wires running through there, and it's making the whole thing just a little bit tougher to get out. Might just take a little tough loving. What in the name of Pete is going on? I really
Need to start wearing pants on fiberglass days. That just blew all inside of my pants. Can't wait for tonight. What's your problem, you sick, twisted fiberglass, huh? You like that? Fingy tap. Yeah, that's how we do it in the suburbs. Let's freaking go. Suburbs. Hello? This is how. I don't have a truck. How can I have an extended warranty if I don't have a truck? Getting there.
We are making significant progress. The back frame is looking pretty phenomenal. This side of the boat looks almost perfect. We're missing a couple pieces because I ran out of screws. We're not gonna have enough time today to make it to Home Depot and back, but this is a good stopping point in today's video. The only problem we're having with the back wall is what I like to call the main beam. This puppy right here is the biggest piece of wood in the entire frame. It fits perfectly on the left side, but as you make it to the right side, it slowly dives down, pulling this part of the frame apart. Where the beam sits normal on the left side, and even at the beginning over here, the frame fits perfect. But as it dips, it separates right here. I'm gonna be honest, I don't know what that means, but I'm gonna go inside, do some research. The boat feels less and less shaky. Used to take a step in here, felt like you were in a house of mirrors. Everything was moving a different direction. Made me a little motion sick just looking at it, but now it's just a slight tummy turn. If you haven't guessed by now, I'm not a boat builder, but I am proud of what we're doing. As I said in the intro of this video, I appreciate every single comment, every bit of advice. I'll be reading them, making plans as we move forward with this project. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you on the next one. I'm gonna get out of this boat, try to breathe in something besides fiberglass. You guys have a good one. Peace. It's a nutrition company that is coming up with a simple way. God, spidey senses are tingling. There's adaptogens, antibiotics. What?
I'm a pretty boy.